one's gonna have to be vertical because I don't know how to do that. And change it if it goes. Oh my goodness. It's so funny how, at least to me, I can look different when I get on camera, like in different modes or in different lights and things. Like, it really is a little bit comical. So we are going to get started with today's Shadow Cast. So for those who are not aware, this is a podcast I do discussing all things hidden in the shadows. Ooh. It's not really scary, unless hearing about things that traumatize me would be scary. To me, that's actually very, very scary. But I feel like it's scary to me because of the things that traumatize me. So like, I'm trying to like go through them and talk about them in different ways. Maybe I should do like a scary one or something, or like have themes or something. I don't know. I might try and do that. We'll see what we got here. As the show progresses or advances, we'll see what we got. See what we got. Okay. Let's see here. And I may not be talking about anything interesting to you, but if it is interesting, then yay. If it's not, then oh well, we tried. Whew. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Shadow Cast, the podcast discussing all things hidden in the shadows. I am your host, the Living Shadow, and we're going to talk about any old damn thing today. So, I don't know. It feels like there's been a shift. At least for me personally, there's been a shift. I can't speak for everybody else, of course, you know. Shift in mindset, shift in thinking. Seasonal depression is definitely here. All the people who are in the northern parts of the world or in the parts of the world that have less sunshine and less, you know, you're getting less vitamin D, you're getting less nutrients for your body. It is definitely an effect. It's a feeling. It's a thing. Please don't mind me. I'm literally like having a moment where I have Oreos and pineapple. Why? I don't know. It was some good pineapple. Really juicy. Anyway, from the Meyer Deli. If anybody ever heard about Meyer before in your life. I don't think, I know it's not very far off, but actually the wife of Meyer died. She just died recently. A whole bunch of celebrity deaths have happened recently. I'm not trying to like go off the cuff, but I'm like, there's been like, you know, there's been a big shift of things. I feel like there's like a lot of people that people really love or share seem to have passed on in a really short amount of time, and not just from COVID or not just even family related people, but other people who are not necessarily like have a close maybe birth family or intermediate, but a closer like internet family or online family or everything like that. You know, there's people who have, you know, it's so funny because people, we say all the time that like your family is where you older generations say you can't choose your family. Younger generations say that's the people who you do choose as your family, you know? And so it's funny, like if you talk to old people, they'll be like, oh, you know, like you can't choose your family, this is that. And then you would just be stuck with like you just it's like an old mindset that has you just stuck with people who you don't really want to even be around or people who you may not even belong with. Like yes, I was born with, you know, over here, but that doesn't mean I belong over here. And that's like a whole like I know the younger generation will know what I'm talking about when I say that. Like it's like okay, so yes, I was born from this, but this is not a reflection of me. Like I'm totally different, totally opposite, or it's like a full thing. I know a lot of people will agree with that because that's like I'm telling you, that's exactly how I felt my whole life. I really have. I don't even. I don't even like get where a lot of this has even come from. For me, to be honest, um, like I said, there's been a whole bunch of people, and I'm empathic. A lot for those who don't know, it's the first time I see this podcast. I'm an empathic person. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing to say that. Like I want to welcome more empathic people, but I also have come to the understanding that it invites, it not really invites them because I'm not inviting nobody anywhere, you know. And it's so funny because like a lot of these people, like energy vampires, they I don't know if they're being like funny or if they actually mean it, but a lot of times they really will play like by old vampire rules. Like I won't like come in unless you invite me, and it's like I'm not gonna invite you then. How about that? But that's really what like you have to watch out for those people. But a lot of times that's who comes in, and that's who is the people who like they try to come in like that. So I I I guess my thing is now what to do with the next chapter of life or with things going on. So many different things have shifted and changed. What do we do to pick up and go forward? Um, Update on my life. I had to do a whole bunch of different things. Not horrible, nasty, dirty things. It's more like a lot of just, I don't want to do this, and I'm sitting through this so I can make it and survive because I need to survive. I'm tired of feeling like I need to survive. I'm tired of living off of survival. I am. I am tired of living off of survival. I'm tired of and survival is not necessarily like money oriented, you guys. You know that, right? Like when I say that, like survival is not necessarily money oriented. But if you understand what I'm talking about, okay, um, there's a certain like emptiness, and I have not felt it in a really long time, and I don't know if anybody else has felt it lately. If this has been like a thing that's going out there, or going around, or what, or because of all these people like are mourning or grief or having some sort of sadness, that this is really coming up this deep. Um, excuse me. This is the shadow cast, y'all. I do a lot of different things. Okay. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that there's this feeling where you can feel empty, right? And I'm looking all over my life, and I'm seeing I got this over here, this over here, that over here, this over here, trying to get all these different things together, trying to get all these different things worked out, trying to get all these different things understood. And it's like I don't know. I get this feeling that something is like missing. Like I'm not like a whole person, but it's like absurd in a sense. But in a sense, it's not like I understand now after years of talking about different things. Not necessarily publicly, which is my problem now. Is trying to talk about things publicly is a whole different experience for me. I'm used to not talking to people publicly and just being all over here by myself and sitting in my own problems. So for me to talk about things publicly is actually a very different experience for me. And thank you. If you actually want to watch this, there is a video version, the Shadowcast podcast on YouTube. That is there for a video version of me sitting here looking into this microphone and down at these pineapples and talking to you. If you want to get a visual to match the audio, although I'm not really sure if you would want that or not. Especially because my voice I know does change, so there may be a lot of different audio experiences at the same time. I'm trying to look at my face. boy, that sounded really different than what I intended for it to. Anyway, hi. Oh my gosh. So I have to like joke in my head or jokes to like to make it through something. So forgive me, y'all. I'm trying to get better at this because I really am trying to like understand things, but I really do feel like I have to like joke in my head to make it through some things, especially when some things are like rough. Um, if you ever had an empty feeling on the inside, like just empty, and I don't know what to like, how to like put that, but it's like really empty and but like upon further realization in my life, I've understood that I felt empty because I've given too much of myself to somebody else, or giving too much of my time to somebody else, or giving too much care to somebody else. Just giving too much to somebody else, you know? And I guess I have this understanding now that to not give, you know, when I don't need when it's not good for me to do that. But then I'm also getting this, I guess, realization, understanding how much I really like will lose myself in somebody as well. So it's like you know, like you're supposed to give at some point. You know, like I'm not trying to be like just be a selfish prick all your life and don't ever give anybody anything and never no I want to. I'm not trying to promote that at all. What I'm saying is that I understood when I like overgave and when I stopped overgiving, how different it felt because I was so used to like now I'm at a point where I'm not trying to overgive to anybody. And I'm really like I'm kind of grieving the sense of like responsibility. Um my therapist taught me about fog before, right? Fear, obligation and guilt. And so it's like when your brain gets cloudy, it's things that you're afraid of, facing things you're afraid of. Feeling obligated to do something, feeling obligated to do something that you don't want to do, or to deal with somebody, or to have some sort of responsibility that is like not yours, and guilt, and feeling guilty about something that you really probably didn't even feel you shouldn't feel guilty about. But what I'm noticing is that that's like a collective thing, right? Fear, especially for this younger generation, and I'm count myself as part of the younger generation. However you wanna wherever y'all thinking about, yes, I'm young. Okay? The spirit may be old, but the body is young. We just gonna keep it moving. And you can tell I've been through some things. Um, there is like this idea of when I was younger. We all kind of understood. We learned. Well, I shouldn't say we all, but most of us learned. Depending on what your education was like growing up. Not judging nobody. I'm just saying different people taught different things as part of the problem that we have today. So, hey, it's just what it is. Um, which it shouldn't just be what it is, but for the sake and purposes of me getting through this, it is what it is. Um, but the different ideas and different ways in which we've inherited fear. We've inherited that fog. Really, the whole thing. We've inherited a whole bunch of fog from our predecessors. A whole bunch of fear about climate. A whole bunch of fear about the earth. A whole bunch of fear about the planet. And what should we trust and not trust? Most of us are in the belief of changing the way the energy works and advancing us forward in a forward leaning society, and putting in whatever provisions and additional information may be needed to help get us, help just make the transitions more smooth in happening. But most of us are in favor of a transition happening in general. Like, excuse me. some people are traditionalists. Some people really are traditionalists. There are younger people who are very traditional, and there's younger people who are just not. And and I think it's increasingly more and more, at least from what I'm seeing out there, just from watching people who put stuff out there. Like I said, we're on home, whatever, or whatever this like half internet universe is, or whatever. You get to see different people who go through different things that have different ways of life. So my point is, when I'm seeing these different people and they're having these different ways of life and they're having these different things go on, it's like most of them seem to be in favor of a change moving forward, of something changing, of something taking, you know, a different direction. And it seems to me like a lot of the stuff is bringing in a different direction, but the different direction is not met with ease at all moments. It is not met with joy at all moments. It's not met with like a smooth pathway at all moments. And so it just kind of feels like a very strange like movement forward, in that a lot of us know what a lot of us is seen, have experienced um, shifts before, right? A lot of us have experienced shifts before. My point is that when you're feeling it like on this wavelength or on these things like that, as you get more conscious of what it is that you're feeling when you're feeling this a whole bunch of like your world change up around you, or you're feeling the very things that you were kind of told as like horror stories when you were younger. You assume that if they knew it, like I guess for me, I always assumed that as a little kid, I heard about the climate. As a very young kid, I heard we heard about the climate and animal extinctions and things like that. We all heard about things, the global warming, all that kind of stuff. We all knew about that when we were little kids, right? They started telling us that when we were little kids. So I assumed that by now, 20 something years later, not to date myself out here, but I mean, but um, 20 years later, then we got like the same issues happening, and we have people fighting about this issue who aren't even going to be around to face the problem. And it's like that's like I know that in fear from when I was younger, that inherent fear pops up. There's an obligation you feel like to fix it, to do something about it. And it's like, what do you do though? And then feeling guilty when you can't do anything. But it's like all those different things coming together, but like on a collective level, especially for like the state of our society, like in a far different cultures. It's like, what do we do? Like, how can I be myself in this world that does not really want you to be yourself, but they want you to be yourself, but they don't want you to be yourself, but they want you to be yourself, but they want you to be yourself that they tell you to be, but they don't want to be yourself that you actually are. They want you to be who they tell you to be, but then certain people who say they don't want to tell you how to be will tell you how to be. It's a whole lot. It's a whole lot. It is a whole lot. And so it's a whole different, like, I don't know, I guess like experience. Like, I feel like it's a completely different experience to look up and see the same thing repeating over and over and over and over and over and over again. Or the same people having the same problems with the same things happening. Like, especially as far as like advancement in areas, right? If you know there's some trouble areas, why are they still being in trouble? Why are they not like the first? It's like, if you know, it's like, why are you not checking on them first? It's like when people are at a job and they see an employee struggling, it's like, why not check on the first? If you know that person tends to struggle with something or with the way it is being taught, why not go and check and see on them? It's that kind of thing. But it's also, but it's like that in societies. Like, okay, so we know this part of a country or this area of the world is having an issue. Why not, highlight something or talk to them about those things and figure out what they actually need, not just what you want to do or what you want to give them. Like, talk to people, see what they actually need. Like, I try and pay attention to the news, but then again, I don't because, like, stress. Um, like it just screams stress, especially men cinema. They just scream stress to me. Like I don't even know how they got where they got to, but at this point, I'm tired of complaining about them because it's been like an entire year of complaining about two people who are just being so fucking stubborn. Like I can't even fucking deal with it. Like for real though, I can't deal with these two people who are being this stubborn and claiming to and just lying, gaslighting, bullshitting around, claiming that they're trying to help people when all they're doing is literally stopping the help from coming. Like, and I don't know how many times you can say that, but like, so like just I don't know. Like it's hard to pay attention to what's going on out there in the world because it's like I'm trying to make this world over here happy, happy go lucky world. E, you know, I'm trying to make it like just better for myself. Like I just want to improve my life, And I know I feel like in years past or generations past, I was not like in the person in the position I'm in, taking the steps I've taken. I would I guess I would have felt more successful then. Like when they had the cheeseburger for 25 cents or something, like having a retirement fund and the 25-cent cheeseburger still like it was great, but with inflation and all that kind of stuff, it doesn't feel that way. And I'm saying to say is that like there's so many different areas in life that you have health in, for your health. Like there's financial health, emotional health, um, um, spiritual health. There's just a whole bunch of different areas of health. Excuse me. And I guess when I'm trying to get to, if I'm not already getting there for you, because I hear complaints from the deceased, and it really drives me nuts. And I'm not trying to be funny about that either, but I know how to like give me a break to do something. Okay. Whoa. And I got a nasty one back. Okay. Anyway, there's a lot of different forms of health. So, if you're having a whole bunch of different things about health going on, or trying to heal different areas of health, there's a lot of different like things that pop up. So, um, for instance, I'm seeing there's a big shift in all these different stuff. I know people. I sell life insurance, so I know people who it like that can also be a big factor in this, along with the mourning and having the responsibility of taking care of somebody and feel like that. That literally is the whole like death is fog in that essence. People fear death, and you feel obligated to stay alive to help people or to help your family or to help your community or to do whatever you gotta do or to pay bills or whatever. People feel obligated for that, and then there's guilt, and they feel guilty if they were to pass, and they have left people with bills and bullshit and fights and arguments and things like there's all that is comes in death in general. But if you like it kind of depends on your understanding of death. Death is just a transformation. It's just a transformation. You just transform from one type of being to another type of being, basically. And what I'm trying to say is that when we have these deaths, even if they can't be like egotistical deaths, spiritual deaths, we have shifts. We like as we mature and we have deaths to our past versions of ourselves. And if you're younger, you probably have felt this or understood this before. I know most people who listen to this on the podcast episode, are more mature people out there in the world, but there are some younger folks out there who have clicked on. I do look at my analytics. So basically, what I'm saying is that when when people like dead your old self, like you kill off your old self, you start over kind of brand new, and it's like you can do that in a lot of different ways. You don't have to, a lot of people think about, I don't know, quitting their job and like moving to Mexico, and then they like start over. Like you can start over like without moving away, without doing anything. Like you can start over lots of times in a lot of different ways in your life, and it's almost better to do so with that. Like it may be better to start over with like your health, with the things that you eat, like eat healthier. Um, people tend to do that. Like people tend to do that for the new year, but it's also like you know, diet, exercise, good vibes, good people, things like that. Changing up your environment does not have to be so bad. And I think younger people are very aware of that. But I'll say this for the people who are um, kind of mid range, Um, maybe it's more of an understanding that it's like getting to the kids to understand that things will change and not making them like I don't know how to say this because I was raised in a household where the things I like it was always backwards to me. The things I wanted to have changed didn't change, and the things I didn't want to have changed changed. So it was always like a back and forth, right? Um, for what I guess what I'm trying to say is that for people don't like, if you can think back to when if that happened to you in your life or how would you want that to if you're having a kid or raising a kid how would you want that kid to experience that like what kind of changes do you want because you have to teach them that things change things are going to change like there's lots of things are going to change that's like one constant the one thing that's constant is change so I guess my thing is how are you going to what like which version of change are you gonna have for them? Like, are you gonna change like your environment? Like, maybe you move a lot. Some people may like that. Some people don't. I was one of those people. I always wanted to do that. Like me personally, I stayed in relatively the same spot. I'm still want to go and travel everywhere, and I feel like it's like a whole trap to not. But that's a different mindset from an older generation that they want to just be trapped. Like and I say trap because to me it's trap, but a lot of them are like, oh, they're proud of it. Like, oh, we got to stay in the same spot for years. Like, we got to say, I've been in the same spot for like 60 years, and they'd be so proud of it. And to me, I'm like, 60 years? Holy crap. Like, oh, what am I going to do with my life? I need to go somewhere. It's like scary. But at the same time, after like speaking with them, I can understand this because before, there was years before they couldn't stay in the same spot, but they didn't even have their own spot in general. They had, they could have been traded or beaten or, especially for our people, okay, people of color. If you look at the video for the video podcast, the Shadowcast podcast on YouTube, I am black. I'm just saying. So the beatings and things like that, there was a whole, there's a history of that. Okay, there's a lot of history in our culture that I think we tend to have forgotten in a lot of our culture that has been brought over that we also have gotten from other people and other cultures, but we tend to forget about it because we're so busy trying to craft our own. And so when I say that is what I mean is like I know lots of times people feel obligated again to craft something new or to be something new or to be the first to do something, And especially people of color. We still have so many people of color who have the first person of color to do this or the first to do that or the first to do this and there's like a pressure to be one of those first people to do something in one of those areas. I know I feel the pressure. I felt the pressure my whole life. When I was little, they told me I had to be the first black president. I was like, No, and then Obama came and did it, so I didn't have to do it no more. But but literally, like, people came up to me said like, and it was like a pressure, like, oh my gosh, especially if you are intelligent, which I'm 99.9999999% sure. Although I haven't met y'all, so I have to be honest, but I'm 99.999% sure that if you listen to this, you're an intelligent person. Okay. My point being is that, especially for us intelligent people, or for people who are, you know, who can critically think, for people who, like, they raise the how, like, the whole thing that they would teach us, and I'm not sure if everybody taught y'all everybody the same thing, okay? But when I was younger, the whole thing they would teach us is that, we learn math and science, this and that. These things were important. This was important this way. And by following this roadmap, here I am. And it's like, okay, so here I am, I'm what they've produced. Why do I still feel empty on the inside? It's because I feel so obligated and guilty and afraid, right? I feel guilty that I'm not living up to it. Obligated to do something with all this that they told me about, because apparently I'm supposed to be doing something. And then fear that I won't ever accomplish whatever it is. But it's also funny because at the same time, they'll do these, like, you feel the pressure of them not wanting, you to advance to the change. So it's like they geared you towards being able to change and understand and perceive things and be more adaptable. But then they don't want you to adapt unless it's, well, really what they want you to do is to adapt to whoever they want you to be, which is not adapting to a situation that's just trying to make you fit in the mold, which is a whole different thing. And don't let everybody trying to make you fit in the mold, okay? You shouldn't feel pressure to have to be what someone else wants you to be. If you want to be something, like, this is the other thing that I'm, like, thinking about, and this might be my last point for this episode, simply because I feel like, to get rid of this empty feeling, the only way I've been able to do that is to stop and to think about, if I am doing what I am doing for myself, to please myself, or to please somebody else. Of course, it gets to be a little bit deeper when I'm, like, trying to please myself, and then I'm trying to figure out if pleasing myself means now or later. Like, will I be more grateful that I did this in the future? Like, oh, thank you, younger me, for taking it on the chin. I missed, like, I missed the club. I missed the wild night out. I missed the drunk night or whatever. But my bills are paid. So, and it's so terrible because it's like, as a young person, all the old people are like, "Oh my god, yeah, you're so responsible." And as a young person, I'm like, "What the fuck was I fucking doing? Why was I so fucking responsible? I should have just went out and got drunk. And I just want to go out and get drunk." Like, I'm being so honest. Like, it's that thing. Like, I don't want to be, like, preachy. I just want to, like, I'm just being myself, and it's weird because it's like there's you like I've compartmentalized so many different sides that I'm trying to learn how to, like, more properly blend together. And it has been a whirlwind for me because I'm not used to trying to blend these things together in these, like, different areas of my life. And I really am a person who feels like I shouldn't have to. But, like, this whole COVID thing really has been, like, a huge change for me, especially for the, like, I was okay with the quarantine. What I was not okay with was worlds blending. Um, yeah, just that's the thing that I think that is, like, really, like, getting me mind warped. I don't know if anybody else is, like, going through whatever, but I know we all go through something at some point in time. So I don't ever act like I don't go through anything. So I'm just gonna put that out there. If you're looking for someone who doesn't go through anything, don't don't look at me. Just stick to the podcast. Just listen. Okay. Um. So yeah, I think this is going to be really about it for this one. I was just gonna say, if you should be doing it for yourself. Basically, you should be doing it for yourself. What makes you feel better? What makes you happier? What gets you through the day? And this honestly will get me through the day. I know it sounds crazy, but maybe you need to do something. Maybe you need to do, whatever kind of art thing you need to do, or whatever thing you need to do to like let your creative mind out. If you have not, I have been the person where I encourage this simply because I know a lot of people already do it. I was kind of trapped in my mind because I couldn't do it because again I was around these abusive people. So I encourage y'all to be better than how I was and how I am now, even still to say because I still have a whole bunch of things I need to get done. But I don't know. I just want to say like I feel a shift, and if you feel the shift, if you're there out there in the world, I feel like the old guy in the RV again off of the 2012 movie. But if you're out there in the world and you understand that there's a whole bunch of different feelings, energies, moods, and shifts that are out there, I understand that you are not alone. You are not alone. And a lot of it is also trauma. Don't discount how much trauma is involved in whatever it is you got going on. I know you can look into a lot of different things to explain why a lot of different things are happening to you. And as far as like family history, medical history, astrology, um, um, you know, earthly history, you can look to a lot of different areas to see those different things. But I guess my point is, I really want y'all to just be out there, be blessed, be like for real, as best as you possibly can. Don't let the craziness of the world take you down or take you out or get you misunderstood. And bear with us as we make it through everything. Every day is a struggle, at least, for me to, not put so much pressure on myself. So if you are feeling that at all, understand again, you are not alone. There are other people who feel a lot of pressure to do a lot of different things, or to be like, I don't even know what kind of person these people expect me to be. I guess myself just not enough. But yeah, it's gonna be a short episode. Be blessed, y'all. And thank you, thank you, thank you for joining the assassination. Bye. Thank you again for watching this video version of this podcast. I really, truly, 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 truly want to thank you all. I want to thank you all. And I hope you all really do be blessed out there. Bye. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share.